What up, you fucking weebs? Today we'll be looking at Jujutsu Kaisen 0, a prequel to the highly successful anime series Jujutsu Kaisen. And just a heads up, if you want to go into this movie completely blind, I don't recommend watching this video. But if you want to get a gist of what to expect before seeing this film, then you've come to the right place. I'm going to be spoiling the synopsis, as well as giving my thoughts on the movie since I want to provide enough info where you can still watch it while not being spoiled too much. With that being said, let's get into it. So the story starts off with Yuta, a shy and reserved first year in high school. He often gets bullied for being a weak little bitch. The first scene has him in a classroom surrounded by bullies. They try to jump his ass, but Yuta whips out the Uno reverse card and fucks their shit up with all their bodies disfigured and unrecognizable. It turns out Yuta is haunted by his childhood friend, Rika, who unfortunately died in a traffic accident when they were kids. Ever since that day, Rika has been by his side in the form of a Gojo stand that looks like a mix of alien and ghost freak. If Yuta is ever threatened, Rika will pop up on her own accord and go apeshit on anyone that tries to hurt him. Because of this, he tends to isolate himself from others so they don't get hurt. He's then apprehended by Jujutsu sorcerers, a group of people who study and fight off curses similar to Rika, which are negative emotions that take on the form of malevolent beings. His apprehender, Gojo, suggests that he attend Jujutsu High School where he can learn how to fight curses, as well as how to control Rika in order to help people. Thus, Yuta's new life as a Jujutsu sorcerer begins, alongside his colleagues Maki, Toge, and Panda. Alright, that's all I'm explaining for the story. One of the things I like about this film is that the plot is very simple. There's no complex narrative with deep hidden symbolism. It's just a simple shonen of good versus evil. It's a dichotomy that's existed for as long as humans have been alive, and is a common trope in entertainment. It's a film where you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's a shonen anime to its very core, and embraces it by cranking it up to 11. And because this is a prequel, you don't need any prior knowledge from Jujutsu Kaisen in order to watch this, making it very accessible to anyone who wants to get into the series. It's simple to understand, and very easy to get into. Next, I want to talk about the characters. Even though Panda is part of the main squad, I feel like he didn't get as much spotlight as the other major characters. I mean, he's still a likable character. He doesn't look down on anyone, he gets along with everyone, and you do get to see him fight. But I'd say that he's more fleshed out in the sequel, where they explain his powers as well as his backstory. Maki and Toge are great. Not only do you get to see them fight, but I feel like you really get to know these characters on a personal level. Throughout the film, you learn more about them, such as their powers, what kind of person they are, and why they became a Jujutsu sorcerer. I feel like these characters got solid character development. Ghetto, not to mistake that with Ghetto, is the main villain of the series. He has a cunning personality which perfectly fits the role of a villain, and he's a very power-hungry individual. Not the most uniquely written villain, but he's serviceable in the sense that he fulfills the role of a villain, posing as a major threat to the good guys, while also following through with his motives. Gojo is one of the sickest characters in fiction. He looks like a pussy magnet, he's knowledgeable on curses and combat, he's goofy as hell, and he's one of the most overpowered fictional characters I've ever seen in media. This guy makes Goku look like a kid in a wheelchair. Unfortunately, you don't get to see Gojo at his peak, since this film mainly focuses on Yuta and the squad. He's more fleshed out in the main series where you get to see his full strength. And lastly, there's Yuta. I feel like he goes through some solid character development both physically and mentally. He starts off as a major pussy, but then he eventually becomes stronger as he and the squad tackle more dangerous missions. Throughout the film, he learns to value the friends he's made along the way, which motivates him to become stronger in order to protect them. Personally, I love characters that start off weak, then go through a major glow up over time. Despite him being a basic character trope, I think it's a feeling that we all relate to on a personal level. That feeling of feeling weak and wanting to overcome ourselves, which is why I have so much respect for the main character. Next, I want to talk about the art and animation. The film is drawn in the weeb art style, and is animated by Studio Mappa, a very notable anime studio that's known for animating the highly acclaimed Attack on Titan. I'm not exaggerating when I say Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is packed with some of the most beautifully animated fight scenes that I've ever seen in anime. There's not a single moment I blinked or looked away from the screen. Every time shit was about to go down, my eyes would automatically be glued to the screen with childlike wonder. Like that time Belle Delphine released Hardcore Porn. The movie has a good amount of fight scenes with Yuta and the squad going around fighting shit, and every second during those segments were filled with pure serotonin, dopamine, and every other good shit that you can think of. The production value is just so good. I feel like so much love and care was put into these scenes, from the fluidity of weapons clashing, and its soundtrack greatly complementing the action segments. Chef's kiss to Studio Mappa for animating these beautifully crafted fight scenes. I'd say that the action is one of the film's main selling points. It's clear that Studio Mappa knew what they were doing, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for their upcoming series, Chainsaw Man. And lastly, there's the music. I think it does a great job of complementing certain scenes. For example, near the start of the movie, where Yuta and Gojo are entering the school, there's a song that nearly gave me a fucking orgasm. The song is called Greatest Strength, and it fits the scene perfectly to represent Yuta taking the steps forward to becoming stronger. I could show you the song, but I prefer if you heard it yourself while that scene plays, because it's just so good. Same goes for the battle segments. They're greatly complemented by the music in combination with the movie's beautiful fight scenes. You got a mix of creepy, sinister music to capture that sense of dread, as well as some rock and metal to set the tone that shit's about to go down. Again, I'm not going to show them here since these songs are much better heard in combination with the scenes from the movie. It's a completely different experience than just simply listening to it by itself. Overall, I had a blast watching Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I enjoyed every second watching this film from start to finish. I was so engaged that during the movie I needed to take a piss, but I didn't want to miss anything, so I just held it in like a dumbass. Every moment felt like I was watching porn, not in the sexual sense, but in the sense that I wanted more and couldn't get enough. Despite this movie being almost 2 hours long, it felt way shorter than that. Guess time flies when you're having fun. Everything about this movie was such a magical experience. The story is simple, the characters are memorable, the action is high quality, and the music slaps. It's clear so much love and care was put into this film. I feel truly honored being given the privilege to see this movie in theaters, and I can't thank Studio Mappa enough for giving birth to this beautiful cinematic masterpiece. As of now, Jujutsu Kaisen is easily the best movie of 2022, and is personally now one of my favorite movies of all time. With that being said, I'm giving Jujutsu Kaisen 0 a solid 10 out of 10. If you're someone that's looking to get into anime, or the series itself, then I confidently recommend Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Anyways, that's the video. If you enjoyed it, maybe you should like and subscribe to the channel. Who knows, maybe you'll become a pussy magnet, or a dick magnet depending on your preference. I'd see ya.